this young man that I've got bringing on now, I have been stalking him online, I think. Ever since I saw his YouTube videos a few years ago, I have been scouting this young man. I've been sending emails all over, contacting everyone all over the globe looking for this very young man with this powerful, powerful voice. The wonderful, the talented Mr. Drew Chambers.
Hello,
Drew.
hello.
Hello. I can hear you.
How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you doing, sweetie?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm glad to be on here.
Yay, I'm glad you made it. Yeah,
I know, it has been a while. It's been a while, but I'm glad we finally connected.
Yes, I'm glad we made that connection. We got it connected. I'm not letting you go. I really appreciate you coming through. Now you got a tight schedule.
I appreciate the opportunity.
So, Drew, let everybody know where you're from. What city do you represent?
I am from North Carolina, if you can't tell from the accent. I don't know if it's thick right now or not. Sometimes it wanes. Sometimes it's thick. Other times it's not. But I actually represent Charlotte, North Carolina.
When it comes to your musical background, I wanted to ask first off, just powerful vocals. Are your parents singers or performers?
My parents, growing up, my dad was a singer. He traveled actually from churches to churches, singing and performing, very talented. My mother was also very talented as well in singing. So, they were very active in church. I most definitely believe that I got a lot of my talent from my parents, which is a great thing because they are both, very great singers as well. I started singing probably around the age of 5. I always tell people the first thing that I ever remember singing was R. Kelly's I Believe I Can Fly. So, I grew up singing. I was always active, like chorus at school and stuff like that, traveling and doing competitions. And, I really didn't take music seriously until after I got out of high school is whenever I started to pursue it professionally.
So when did the whole YouTube sensation thing start? Like, what really kind of triggered you to start posting videos on YouTube of you covering different songs?
Honestly, it kind of started whenever I got out of high school, and I remember doing a competition. It was a local singing competition. I remember doing this competition. I was so, bent on winning this thing. Not to sound prideful or anything, but I was like, oh, my gosh, I know I can win this. I know I can win this. Couldn't find out, somebody else won it, and it was kind of rigged. Yeah, the judges knew this guy that won it. Granted, he was a very talented musician as well. It was rigged, and it kind of made me mad. That's kind of what started it. I started posting videos of. It was around the time, too, when Justin Bieber became very big. Yeah, when he first come out on the scene, I was like, well, if he could do it, then I can do it. So I started on YouTube posting these videos. I would just post up random songs. I didn't keep up with the latest music because a lot of my influences are from Motown and stuff like that. Yeah, I remember posting songs like that up. I didn't really start getting views and stuff and didn't really delve into YouTube probably until a year and a half, going on 2 years ago, when I started treating it more as a business, started keeping up with all the latest music that was out and everything. And, I just, little by little, I started building it. I started out with a Xbox camera and a voice recognition microphone from Walmart. And it was probably I paid probably $20 for that voice recognition microphone, and the Xbox camera had been laying around. And this is all I knew how at the time. The reason why I started YouTube was because I didn't really know what to do to get my voice out there. The location that I'm in, it was very difficult because you don't have the opportunities here in North Carolina like you would, say, in New York City, or if you were to move to L.A. At that time I didn't have no other way, and I didn't know how else to make that step into music. I did what I knew how to do, and that was to start up a YouTube. Did the cover thing, and, I think a lot of my views came off of when Adele put out her album. It continued to grow, and I got a pretty good-sized following, and I'm so grateful for the following that I have on there. There was a point in time where I actually, last April, I tried out for X Factor, and I told myself I really would never try out for a competition like that. Seeing it as a good opportunity. It was the very first season, very first show. And I went to New York City in April of last year to try out for X Factor. And nobody really knows this because I haven't never told anybody this. I tried out for X Factor. I flew up to New York, first time ever being on a plane now. Yeah, it was crazy. Like, I got there, went to auditions, which I had to travel to New Jersey at the, I think it was the Knicks arena, whatever it is, to try out. I met a guy by the name of Sam Harmonics, which people that follow me know that name because me and him work very closely together. He's my producer, and we do a lot of work together. So I met him actually in line and just happened to walk up behind him. Come to find out, he's from North Carolina as well. And yeah, we tried out for X Factor. I had to stay up there a few days. He didn't. He made it through like the first 2 rounds and got cut. And then I made it through some more rounds. And then they sent me back home and told me that I would be receiving a call. June of last year, I got a call from X Factor telling me that I was chosen. So I went up there, and this was the actual audition in front of Simon Cowell and the other judges and L.A. Reid. I got up there to New York. I didn't fly that time. It was like a 10-hour drive. It was ridiculous. I got up there and was waiting to go on to perform in front of the judges. The judges ran late getting to the show. They were like 3 hours late, and so the show was thrown like 2 hours behind because of contract reasons. The show had to shut down at 11 o'clock, and I was free from going on stage to try out, and the producers came and told me that I wasn't going to be able to try out. So,
wow.
Yeah, that was very disheartening because I felt like, I had gotten so far. It was very disheartening. But after that, I was like, I made the resolution to myself, I'm not going to go that route anymore. So, like, I get people all the time asking me, like, trying out for American Idol and X Factor and all that mess. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm not ever going to do it. It won't never happen. I'm on a different path. But it was kind of like a blessing in disguise because it's a lot of the reason why I am where I am today and why my, brand and my artistry has progressed as well. That's kind of where all this, like the new Drew Chambers, like the me actually putting out original content started because, I did the whole YouTube thing and I'm still active on YouTube, but I have, moved from kind of covers to my original content because I want people to accept my artistry and I don't want people to expect covers from me anymore. So, I want the people, and hope that the people that would support me through the cover phase will support me into moving into this artistry phase of things.
I just commend you in your artistry and everything that you're doing with your music. Those shows, not downing the reality competition shows or anything, but I feel as though a lot of times, especially the people that seem to win these shows, their creativity is somewhat hindered because now they're under contract, now they have to kind of do whatever the contract says that they have to do. They don't have the freedom to really be themselves. And I feel as though you're in your element right now.
I absolutely believe that. Like, my whole thing is when talking about these competitions, like, there's so many out there. Like, my whole take on the thing is I just feel like the air so saturated by these competitions. It's so, like, people are just, I think, tired seeing it, but you really don't see superstars come out of these shows anymore. You have people that win and have decent-sized followings, but you don't have the Carrie Underwoods anymore. You don't have the Kelly Clarksons or the Fantasia Barinos and people like that. Like, you don't have that. It's very hard to come by nowadays. Like, I can't even tell you who won any of these competitions within the last few years.
It's been watered down for me. I haven't looked at it. Okay, enough about the crazy competitions. All right, Catch My Tears. What was the inspiration behind this particular song?
Catch My Tears, I wrote Catch My Tears because I took it from a place where everybody sometime in their life, at some point in their life, has said something or done something to someone, whether it be a spouse or a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a mother, a father, a sibling, that, you said something or done something, and it just kind of made that relationship sour or made the situation sour, and it just, it complicated things, and, you wish you could go back, but, the damage is already done because, there's so much power in the tongue, and you have to really watch what you say to people. And I've had to learn that myself, but I took this from the perspective of this guy, he did something very wrong to his spouse. If he could take it back, he could, but the damage has already been done. So, he's there in this low place in his life. I have a thing with me where I put so much into people, like I devote so much time to people. So I took this from the perspective like this guy put everything into this person that he done wrong. So there he is, crying out, but there's no one there to catch his tears because the only person that he had there to help him is gone. So that is kind of a, synopsis as to why I wrote that song.
So, Drew, let's talk about The Game Changer. How did you compile this project? Like, how did it really come together as one?
Well, like I said before, Sam Harmonics, who I met up in New York, we come together to start working on music. And, we had worked on things previous in the past that we had released, like on YouTube and things like that. But, then we, decided to start working on an album. And, this album, I wanted to have, influences from, me growing up, which would be, I have a heavy R&B, soul influence. I grew up on the gospel singers like CeCe Winans and Donnie McClurkins, and, Fantasia is probably like one of my favorite singers. So I have a lot of those influences. So I wanted to make sure that I incorporated those influences into the songs that I came up with. And this was the songs. I wanted them to speak. Like each of the songs, have a special meaning to them, and it's just not something that somebody wrote for me and then they handed it to me. And, I'm singing it, and because, sometimes I feel like there's a lost connection to a song when you're just out shopping around for music. So, this music is all from, me, and it's all special, and it all means something. And with this music, I wanted to show people, which, is what my album is named after. I want to be a game changer. Like, I believe that, I have what it takes to be a game changer in the music industry and show people that it's not just about being a teeny bopper or having a cute face or and mediocre talent, but it's about, hard work, dedication, and great talent and something different, because I believe that I have something different to bring to the table. So, this was, the Game Changer was, like a letter to people, saying that, this is me, because people haven't really heard what I can actually do. My vocals, my vocal ability, my writing, my original content altogether, people really haven't heard just what I can do. So this was very exciting for me because people could actually, hear what I'm capable of. And, I wanted to give it for free because I wanted to, give appreciation to the people that have stood by me for so long and kept up with what I'm doing. And, and have been so supportive in my music. Like, it means so much. So I was so glad to be able to, you know, put something out there for people that they could enjoy.
Absolutely, absolutely. I see in the chat room my sister Diva is out there. What's up, Miss Diva? That is my sister out there. She is in Killeen, Texas. And Drew, she said that your voice is absolutely scrumptious.
Thank you so much. I like that word.
Scrumptious. That makes me kind of hungry.
I know. I'm gonna go make some cake or something. Hold on now. Put me on hold.
Watch out. Watch out with it. All right. Okay, Drew. So, what is it like for you to write a song, to write a track like Crazy? Like that one, very up-tempo, very fun-like. Some people, you know, they have to be secluded somewhere. Other people say they record it on their iPhone. What is it like for Drew Chambers to write a song?
It's so funny that you asked that, because I was talking to my friend Jocelyn today about this. Like, some people are so crazy when it comes to this stuff. Like, they have to be, like, I've heard people before, like, they have to have the lights off, and they can't be talking to nobody. Like, with me, it's like, I'm the kind of person, like, it does not matter. Like, I can be anywhere, and something will just come to mind. You know, I'll get into these modes where, you know, it's very easy, like it just flows. You know, sometimes it comes really quick, and I have to, like, scramble to write down. You know, I have to find a piece of cardboard. I've been in a Walmart before, and something come to mind, and I had to go tear off a piece of cardboard off of a box to write it down, like, you know, what was in my head. But, you know, I usually just, my best writing is done at night. Like, during the day, I can't think. Like, it's just so hard. But at nighttime, when everybody's asleep, and, you know, it's just like the world is just, like, you know, resting, then that's when I'm up, you know, working. So, you know, there's certain things, like with each song that I wrote, you know, there's certain things to it. Sometimes they come together very quickly. A lot of times they're from, you know, something that I've gone through, or, you know, an experience. But I'm not too crazy when it comes to that stuff as far as writing and things like that. I'm a pretty normal person, I guess you could say.
Gotcha. Okay, Drew. So, all right, this is a complete sideways question. This is coming out of left field somewhere. If you weren't doing music, what do you think you would be doing? What industry do you think you'd be in?
There is so many things that I like to do. It's all in the creative, you know.
Well, what's
mindset.
The first one that comes to mind? What's the first thing?
Photography. Photography and editing. I love to do that. I love to landscape. I know that's kind of strange, but I love working outside. I love culinary arts, and that was actually like growing up through school. Like, that's kind of what I wanted to do for some time, was actually go to Johnson and Wales, which is like one of the top of the line culinary arts schools in the country, and it just so happens to be in Charlotte. But, you know, I was kind of like in high school, I was very quiet about wanting to be a singer, an artist, because, you know, being in high school and everything, like, I was kind of afraid of what people would think of me. So I didn't really tell people that. You know, then I got out of high school, and that's when things started coming together for me. And, you know, I got on the path that, you know, I knew that I needed to be on. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, Drew, because there's a lot of new talent that's emerging all over the place in all different genres and aspects of music and entertainment as a whole, what advice would you offer to any new up-and-coming talent?
To be blunt, it is to get with the right people and make sure you have money. because that's two things that it takes a lot of. And sad to say, like, people, I'm not saying that, I'm all for dreams, because I have a dream as well. And anybody, if you set out to do something and you believe in what you're doing, and you keep the faith that God will open up those doors for you, He will. And there's nothing that is impossible. And you can set out to accomplish whatever you desire, as long as you work hard and you do your very best. But sadly, in the music industry, there's a lot of mess wrapped up into it, and what you see today is it's 90% business and 10% talent, and it's not really based off of talent anymore. It's about money, and in order to get there to a certain level, it's about favors, it's about money, it's about all this other stuff that you have to go through. It's a rough road. It's not easy, but it doesn't mean that you can't succeed at it, because those doors can open if you get with the right people and you have a strong head about things, and you're a go-getter about what you do, and you don't sit back. You have to be very proactive, because there's so many people out here doing the same thing. You've got to set yourself apart, and you have to make a difference, and you have to be different. You have to make a name for yourself. Like, that's all I can say. Like, you have to make a name for yourself and get out there performing. Like, that's getting your voice out there to people. That's what it takes.